Your phone shows full bars at the outside tap. Your water timer on that same tap stays offline. Same spot, same Wi-Fi. One connects, one starves. The shop says check your router. You did. The phone is fine. I am McCall. I drive buses in Belfast. Here is the question. If the signal reaches your hand, why does it never reach a smart water timer? Today, the physics of walls and why watering timers need 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Physics of walls. Last week, we counted the ways a smart timer can let you down, and signal sat right at the top of the pile. So this week, we go after it properly. And the first thing to know is that your Wi-Fi is not one thing. Your router is running two radios at once. One broadcasts at 2.4 gigahertz, the other at 5 gigahertz. Gigahertz just means how fast the wave wiggles, a billion times a second. So the 5 gigahertz radio wiggles roughly twice as fast as the 2.4 one. On most home routers, both radios share one network name. Your phone shows one Wi-Fi, one password, one row of bars. Underneath there are two completely different animals, and your phone silently hops between them, picking whichever suits it in that moment. By the sofa, it rides the fast one. Out past the kitchen wall, it drops to the slow one. You never see the handover, and that detail matters later, so hold on to it. Your garden timer cannot do that hop. Nearly every piece of garden kit is built with one radio only, the 2.4 gigahertz one. That is not corner cutting. It is a deliberate engineering choice. And to see why, you need to know what those two waves do when they meet a wall. Here is the thing about radio. It is light you cannot see. And the most useful number about any wave is how long it is. Divide the speed of light by the frequency and you get the length of one ripple. At 2.4 gigahertz, each ripple is about 12.5 centimeters long. At 5 gigahertz, about 6 centimeters, half the length. Why should a gardener care? Because long waves are better at getting past things. A long ripple bends around obstacles and leans through walls, losing a slice of its strength on the way. A short ripple is fussier. It carries far more data, which is why 5 gigahertz is lovely for films on the sofa. But every brick takes a bigger bite of it. You already know this physics from Saturday nights. When the neighbors have a party, what comes through the wall? The bass, never the lyrics. Low frequency, long wave, straight through the bricks. High frequency, short wave, stopped at the wallpaper, radio plays by the same rules. Now ask what your tap actually needs. A watering timer sends a handful of words a day. Open, close, battery is fine. That is a text message, not a film. Speed is the wrong measurement for a garden. Reach is the right one. So Garden Kit picks the long, slow, stubborn wave. The engineers chose 2.4 for the same reason you hear the bass. So let us run the wall test on an ordinary British house. Picture where your router lives. For most of us, it is in the front room, plugged in next to the phone socket, sat on a shelf. Now picture the journey to your outside tap, through the front room wall, across the kitchen, past a fridge, which is a big box of metal and water, then through the back wall of the house, and the back wall of a Belfast terrace is the serious kind. Solid brick, built like it expects weather. Then down, because the tap sits at knee height, hiding behind a wheelie bin. Every one of those obstacles takes a toll. The 5 gigahertz signal pays the steepest price at each one, so it usually dies somewhere around the kitchen. The 2.4 signal leans through, bends round the fridge, and arrives at the tap tired but alive. That is the whole case for 2.4 in one sentence. It is not the fast lane, it is the one that finishes the route. But notice something, even the survivor arrived tired. What reaches the timer is the leftovers of the leftovers, and here is where the shop advice falls apart. Because the little test everyone does, holding a phone next to the tap, does not measure any of this honestly. Your phone has been covering for weak signal your whole life. Here is the myth. This episode exists to kill. My phone connects in the garden, so a Wi-Fi timer will connect too. It sounds airtight. It is wrong, and it is wrong for 4 separate reasons. First, hardware. Your phone carries a serious antenna system, tuned and tested, because signal is the whole job of a phone. The radio inside a garden timer is built to a price, with a small antenna folded inside a plastic box. Second, position. You hold your phone 1.5 meters off the ground, and you naturally drift to where it works. The timer is bolted at knee height behind a bin, in the one spot it must work forever. Third, the hop. Remember the 2 radios in your router. Near the back door, your phone quietly slides onto the long wave and keeps its bars. The timer has no second radio to slide to. And fourth, the quiet betrayal. When Wi-Fi gets truly hopeless, your phone abandons it altogether and switches to mobile data. The pages keep loading. You put the phone away satisfied, and the garden keeps its secret. There is a thread on the Irrigation forum where a professional puts it plainly. A man who sets up wireless networks for a living, with the access point sat 2 meters from his controller, still watching it drop offline. If weak radio can embarrass an engineer at 2 meters, it can embarrass anyone. The phone test is not a test. Your phone is a better radio than anything you will ever screw to a tap. So how do you test? Honestly, you make your phone live like a timer, just for 10 minutes. Step 1, turn off mobile data. This removes the safety net, so what you see is Wi-Fi and nothing else. Step 2, in your router settings, give the 2.4 network its own name. Most routers allow it. Join that network and no other. Now you are on the timer's wave, not the phone's favorite. Step 3, take the phone to the tap and put it where the timer would actually sit, knee height, against the wall, behind the bin, not in your hand at chest height. That meter of difference is not cosmetic. Step 4, leave it there and watch it. Load a page, wait, load another. Then do it again in the evening, when every house on the street is streaming and the airwaves are crowded. And step 5, read the result with honest eyes. If the phone struggles down there, a timer has no chance at all. Walk away from Wi-Fi at that tap, but mind the trap in the other direction. If the phone copes, that is not a promise. It is a better radio than the timer, so this test can only fail a tap. It can never pass one. It is a bouncer, not an invitation. That trap is exactly why my own tap does not run on Wi-Fi at all. I use the Johgee 4-zone timer, and the trick is where the radios live. A small hub plugs in indoors, right next to the router, on the strong end of the 2.4 signal. The hard leg, from the house down to the tap, happens on a different radio entirely, one that is not Wi-Fi, and not fussed by the back wall. The tap end never touches your Wi-Fi. One honest catch. The first pairing wants that 2.4 network visible under its own name, the same router setting as step 2 of the test. And if your tap sits close to the house with signal to spare, a plain Wi-Fi timer will serve you fine. How that other radio pulls this off is next week's episode. Suppose the test came back marginal. Before you spend a penny, give the long wave a fair fight, because most houses are accidentally set up against it. Move the router off the floor and out of the cupboard. Radio hates being boxed in at ankle height. A shelf in a central room buys you more than any gadget. Clear the runway. If the straight line from router to tap passes the fridge, the oven, or a big mirror, a meter of repositioning can matter more than money. Metal reflects radio, water drinks it. Mind the microwave, it cooks at the same 2.4 gigahertz slice of air, and a running microwave shouts over everything nearby. If the timer only drops out around dinner time, there is your suspect. Name the two bands separately once in the router settings. It makes every pairing of every gadget less painful, and it is the same setting the wall test already asked for. And keep your expectations honest. None of this changes the physics of a solid stone back wall. Tuning helps a marginal tap. It does not rescue a hopeless one. Some gardens simply need a different radio. And now you know how to tell which garden you have. So what does that mean for your garden? It means the number on the router box was never the number that mattered. Your Wi-Fi is 2 radios. The 5 GHz one is a sprinter that fades at the first serious wall. The 2.4 one is a plotter that leans through and usually arrives. Garden Kit lives or dies on that long wave, because a tap needs reach, not speed. And your phone was never a fair witness. It hops bands. It falls back to mobile data. It flatters the signal every time you glance at it. Test at tap height with the safety net off, and believe the bad news if you get it. Because here is the thing, some taps fail every version of this test, through no fault of yours. Thick walls, long gardens, stone extensions. For those taps, the answer is not more Wi-Fi. It is a hub sitting warm indoors, speaking a wave built for distance. That is exactly where we go next week. The indoor hub trick, the architecture that finally made my own back wall irrelevant. If a bus driver measuring his kitchen with a phone at knee height sounds like your sort of channel, subscribe and bring the neighbor whose timer lives offline. Right, that is the route for today. See you on the next one.